Ricky. That would, wow. It's like, that makes me think of Ricky Lake. But anyway, hello there, everybody. Welcome to another
I'm thinking
X-Smarks
Ricky
the Spot with Richter Hammer.
Fuck it, forget the podcast, let's all do that.
All right, but so another X-Marks the Spot with me, your host Richter Hammer. You know how we do it, hopefully by now. If not, well, here's a quick primer for you. We're going to go through our awards up to 5. We will also have up to 2 bonus ones from last week because it was the pay-per-view, so we didn't do our match and promo and whatnot. And then we will do our match and promo of the night for the various shows we watched, and we also get a bonus match and or promo from last week if we want to cover anything from there. So joining me as usual are Chris, a.k.a. The Mole.
And hello.
Mr. James Phoenix.
Hello.
And Marcus Shadow.
What's up?
So let's get to it. With the first award, we'll go through the bonus ones first, unless you don't have it. Does anyone not have bonus ones? I have one, so.
I have bonus ones this time. I decided, no, I'm going to keep one, and I'm going to have some bonus ones this week.
Yay. Okay, so am I the only one with one? Everyone else has 2?
Mm-hmm. I've actually got 5. I'm just gonna pick 2 random ones.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, I have more than 2, but I'm only going to pick 2, so yeah.
I only have 2 because I raised the ones I didn't need. I was prepared, Rick.
All right, so since you prepared, why don't you take us away with your first bonus award?
I agree with Marcus. No, my first one from last week, I called it Bowser's Story. And that was for on Raw when Triple H said, "Come on, he's just one guy." When Seth Rollins wants more security, the Triple H's like, "No, it's Randy Orton, he's just one guy." And I'm like, that's so every video game boss ever. It's just one guy, it's cool. Let's just send one Goomba at a time. Not the entire army at once. No, it's cool, we got this.
Just send one Goomba and then another one, and then, I don't know, probably a Koopa Trooper or something. That'll be fine. Just single file. The door's not that big.
Yeah. But what about all those Koopalings we have? Well, yeah. What if we send them one at a time after he's gone through our ships and damaged our property?
That is how that
Fair
works.
But yeah, he's just one guy. Boom.
Yeah, that was great. It's like, really, Triple H? Really? He's just one guy. But yeah, so were you. And you remember how many people it took to take you down, Triple H?
I believe it was 4 people shaking hands post-credits.
I believe it was one woman sucking his cock, but that's a different story.
No, that didn't take him down. That elevated him back up.
She was done. All right, so with your first...
Technically, I don't think that counts because Triple H is just one man. He's one man with a sledgehammer.
That can be broken in half by a bat.
True.
You know, a bat like a lightsaber. Boom, just clean cut there.
That's because it's
That's the power of Sting.
Exactly.
You just got stoned, bitch. that needs to be his new catchphrase on all his t-shirts in WWE. You just got stoned, bitch, and like a hat and like a baseball bat going through a sledgehammer. I would buy that t-shirt.
All right, so Jim, your first bonus award?
Sure. Which one do I want to use?
Number 2.
Number 1.
Number 3.
Nah, no, I'll go with the 2 that actually have clever pun titles.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll get. Well. Okay. The first one, I called it. Let's see, which one was first one I called it Miz Fire for Summer Rae betraying Sandow and joining the Miz.
That was awesome.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I did not see that coming. Nicely done. Nicely done.
I saw that coming.
Yep, Mold
Saw that
mentioned
coming
to me.
soon.
Yeah, I believe I
Hold on.
mentioned that in one of our podcasts when we were talking about divas who were face, and everyone was like, "But Summer Rae," I'm like, "Well, we don't know. She only just joined them. Chances are next week she's going to join Miz."
True. And that's gotta love that wonder of WWE booking is we have this awesome new movie we want to promote. Let's make our 2 stars of the movie people that are hated. That's a great way to promote our movie.
Well, to be fair, they're actually
Worked with the
being
Marine One.
yeah, and basically they're also playing Marines, and a load of people in your country think it's cool to hate upon your troops. Sorry, I shouldn't be political, but I'm sorry, that just annoys me whenever, like, it's the same thing over here when there's people who are anti-war and stuff, and troops return home and they throw rubbish at them.
Yeah.
And I'm
Who
like,
the fuck does that?
I don't give a I don't give a shit if you're anti-war. These guys still put their life on the line for something they believed in. One of which happens to be your fucking freedom.
I would also put to you, Jim, when he started becoming big in Hollywood and actually going off to new movies and stuff. What did they do with The Rock? They made him a heel.
Yes, but the difference
fair-
is in the
fair,
movies The Rock appeared in, he was the villain.
And to be fair, there was a reason they made The Rock a heel. The reason they made The Rock heel was basically what's happened to Cena and Roman Reigns and stuff. If you watch, like, when Rock came back via satellite during the Raw 15th anniversary special, 10th anniversary special, whatever it was, whenever he goes to speak and he's like, "Yeah, I'm here for all my people. Yeah, that's right, you're chanting The Rock's name." The crowd booed the shit out of him. He's like, "Thank you for chanting The Rock's name." It's like, this is clearly pre-recorded. And it's like, yeah, they had no choice but to make him heel because the crowd hated him. And then the second they did that, the crowd suddenly welcomed him back. The crowd's very fickle.
I've noticed.
And so is The Rock's relative.
Yep.
All right. So, Marcus, your first bonus award?
My first bonus award is called the Primetime Paranoia Award for Titus O'Neil scaring the shit out of Seth Rollins by sneaking up behind him and doing his thing in the hallway. After Orton was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get the RKO's out of my system tonight since you suggested it, Seth, and I'm gonna RKO your ass tonight by the time the night's over." And so Seth is all walking backstage and he's all paranoid that he's gonna get RKO'd, and he's got J&J security looking out for like Randy Orton and stuff, and he kind of walks by the primetime players and just keeps going, and Titus just kind of gets the slight grin on his face, turns around, just jumps out, goes, and Seth like shits himself. It's fucking awesome.
Of course he did. He thought it was Rick Steiner. Relevant. No, it's not.
Yeah, I thought that was an awesome bit. I was like, okay, that was funny.
Nice.
You'll
Okay.
also notice I said Rick Steiner. I did not say Junkyard Dog because I don't see colour. Thank you.
So for
Still not relevant.
He's on the
Right.
WWE Network.
That's true. For my bonus award, because I only had one, I called it the Not Literally Award. For I just thought I saw this in the one of the recap things on YouTube or whatever that WWE puts up, like the top 10 moments or whatever, and Ryback fought 2 dudes dressed as food, and I'm like, you're not literally feeding him more, like you. I saw it and I was like, that's just funny to me. Like, yeah, just put him in a banana suit and have him wrestle. I'm like, okay, he's wrestling food now.
He is.
And the question is,
right.
did you hear what he said after he fought them?
No, what?
Right after he proceeded to hit them both with the finisher, because they
Aren't
got
you
him
glad I didn't end the career of Banana?
No.
Oh wow, I wish you.
No. Hang on, I'll admit I actually kind of chuckled on this just because Ryback seemed to be so into the moment. He grabbed a microphone and he goes, "Hey, what did the hot dog say to the banana?" "Nothing, because they both got shell-shocked." Well, I'm like, okay, that was actually kind of funny.
Nice.
I don't get it.
Because the Ninja Turtles eat both of them. Anyway.
Ah.
So with your
On a
second
pizza.
on a pizza. With your second bonus one, take it away, Mole.
I called it marvelous. And that's for the WWE Network special Culture Shock with Corey Graves visiting a Marvel Studios. Huh? Marvelous? Huh?
Oh.
Hopefully someone gets that.
I see what you
As
did there.
As sophisticated as it was. But basically, yeah, he went around and he got to see how a comic was made. He gets to see all the people who worked on Thor, minus CM Punk. They talked about how great all these people's contribute were to Thor, minus CM Punk. And we got to see male Thor being like drawn and shows like, okay, now it goes over to this place over this side of the country to be inked, and it comes back here, and it goes through all this stuff. It's actually really fun, and it's like a travel show with Corey Graves, and I don't know why, it was just kind of wonderful. So yeah.
Minus female
Shock.
Thor.
Because it's WWE, they never give divas a chance.
Ouch.
Yeah. Not on their main programming.
Which is ironic, because if you watch Chris Jericho interview Stephanie McMahon live on the WWE Network on Thursday night, she clearly said that they were, in fact, giving divas a chance, and that she supported that.
What? The head of the company says the company's doing something they're supposed to be doing? No.
I know.
Backtrack your ass out of here with your crazy logic.
She said that Ronda Rousey helped inspire her, and, people obviously saw that and wanted the, more equal divas to give a chance, and she also added that she felt that AJ Lee's comment was directed more to her than to the overall give divas a chance thing. So, I don't know. Anyway.
All right. So, Jim, your second bonus award?
Sure.
Is he waiting for a drum roll?
I feel like I should use my other pun award title, but somebody needs to mention this, and I don't know if anybody else has it. So,
The only other one who will have it will probably be Marcus.
okay,
As
Well,
Richter has no awards left, and I have none left, so.
fair enough. Well, I feel this just doesn't need to be mentioned. I really didn't have a good title for this. I just called it RKO out of nowhere, for everybody getting RKO'd out of nowhere.
I did have that on my award list. I'm not using it, but since you mentioned it, I did call it Video Game Accurate Award
There you go.
for executing the launcher. I'm like, okay then.
You get an RKO. You get an RKO. Everybody gets an RKO.
Yeah, but mine was for a specific one. It was for the one on Kofi because Randy Orton actually launched me, like grabbed him, like literally out of the video game, like he does in the video game. He picked him up, threw him to the air, and then RKO'd him.
Still not as good as RKOing Heath Slater through the table in the craft services room.
That was random and unnecessary. Funny, but random and unnecessary.
Random, yes.
To be fair, having Randy Orton go through most of the locker, taking him out with RKOs, is extremely random and unnecessary. And it's also extremely funny because a load of people would bitch out a load of other superstars for it. Like if Reigns started to just spear random guys backstage, the internet would implode with it. He's burying everyone.
Yeah.
It's weird how that works.
I know. Go figure.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right.
All right. And so, Marcus, was that your second one or no?
No.
Okay, then your second one.
My second one is the Tell Me He Didn't Just Say That award.
Uh-oh.
And it goes to Michael Cole during the Divas match. It was Naomi versus Brie. Mole and I couldn't decide who he was talking about because we weren't paying full attention, so we didn't realize who he was talking about because Mole just kind of noticed he said it, and I was like, really? And then but I did hear him actually say it, and he goes, for the first time in her life, I mean, in the match, she's showing life. It's like, wow, Cole, really?
Oh, wait till we get to this week's awards. Booker
Yep.
T beats it.
Yep. And, and it's the same award title.
No, not on my end.
But yeah, I had to give that an award. So I was just like, oh, open mouth, insert foot.
it's a pun because Michael Cole had lost that Kiss My Foot match. I see.
Ah!
Nice.
Stupid coal miner. It's funny because I don't think anyone's a coal miner.
Michael Cole, maybe?
I don't even think Michael Cole's a coal miner.
I hope not.
And I'm hoping that remark was directed toward Naomi, but like I said, I don't know who he was talking about at the time.
I believe, like I mentioned to you at the time, he was talking about Brie.
Ah,
Because it was when Brie was on the back, and as she started to fight back, that's when he said it.
Fair enough. Then yeah, it was probably Brie.
Because Naomi dominated her for most of the match, and then I think when she was on the ground, I think she kicked Naomi in the face, and that's when she started building an offense.
Fair enough. But yeah, that's still funny that he said that.
All right, so on to the awards proper. I think I know what Mole's first one is going to be, so go ahead and take it right here for. Oh,
Richter, before we did
yes.
that, did we want to do last week's match and promo?
I was going to do match and promo.
Yeah, I think he said he was going to do that afterwards, like when we go to do the other match and promo, so they're all together.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm like playing Bejeweled. I'm matching all this stuff. So, Mole, your first award for the previous week.
He stole my gimmick. And that goes to Booker T, responding, Owen Hart didn't defy gravity like Neville.
Ouch.
Yeah.
And yeah, the internet imploded with people saying he'd insulted Owen Hart, which Booker T had to his credit, did issue a statement apologizing. That's not how he meant it. They just meant high flyers, and Booker T was just trying to say, and basically Neville's the best high flyer. No one defies gravity like him. But the fact the last person they mentioned was Owen Hart, and he goes, Owen Hart didn't defy gravity like Neville. It's like, oh yeah, you're right. He didn't defy gravity, but ooh, you stole my gimmick.
He tried, and he failed. Yeah. I had the same name as Marcus's other one for that. Yeah, because I was like, Booker T, tell me you didn't just say that.
Yeah,
I heard he said that, and I was like, no, oh my God, Booker.
See, I think he stole my gimmick as payback for me using the word dig as a pun. Like, can you dig that? He's like, oh, I must get more back. Oh, he likes to make inappropriate remarks. Owen Hart didn't defy gravity like Neville, and he just looks at the camera and goes, yeah, suck it, Mole.
He just looks, he goes, Mole, challenge accepted.
He just started to hold his ear with, what was that, Triple H? He's your friend? Oh my God, I'm so sorry. But yeah, that was mine. That was one of those things that, in context, it makes perfect sense. But the internet did go overboard. I felt with how negative they were towards what he said, because he didn't mean it nastily. You could even tell. It's not like he was making a joke about Owen Hart's death. It's not the type of thing he'd do. What the fuck?
JBL set him up. Yeah, no, that was my first one. I'll jump in line because, like I heard he said that, or I read he said that. I was like, oh my, no, he didn't. I listened to the thing. I was like, oh my God, dude, Booker T, you're a gold mine. But I don't know, just the place I saw it mentioned. Some of the commenters, were just like, wow, I didn't see very many negative ones. That's what startled me was most people are like, he didn't mean it like that. I'm like, you're the same people that John Cena says pimp hand, and you're like, oh my God, that's the worst thing he could ever say. What a horrible person. I'm like, you guys are assholes. It's like, we hate that guy. He said something. We're going to take it the wrong way. Oh, we like this guy. He said something that sounds really bad. Oh, we'll pretend that it was okay. He didn't. Like, what? No.
Yeah.
Fucking fickle fans.
The stuff I saw with the comments were people saying, "Ooh, Booker T should be fired for disgracing the name of Owen Hart," and just all these negative comments to the point he had to make a statement apologizing and saying he didn't mean it. I'm like, oh, come on. That's like basically if Marcus some point during this conversation goes, yeah, we're on shaky ground here. If the internet then goes, ooh, right after that earthquake. Ooh, Marcus, and then he has to issue a statement apologizing. It's like, no, this isn't how this works. He apologized if you said something offensive and you meant it as a joke or whatever and it took offense. But if it's an actual thing and people are just taking it completely out of context with nothing to do with what you said, I feel it was a little too political correct. Booker T had to apologize.
Yeah.
But at the same time, this is WWE. They're on pins and needles. They have to be PC to the letter. Because of virtue, they are WWE, which is probably why he had to do it, regardless if he meant it or not, and regardless if common sense would dictate he wouldn't really need to apologize because it's WWE. Even if you don't mean it, you have to apologize.
Yeah, that's true. It's like when they mention, Triple H has Stephanie and his kids. He has a wife and kids, and Booker T just goes, "Yeah, Benoit, the family once. It didn't work out."
No, I wanted to say that.
I could see them going the overly sensitive route, because didn't Big Show have to apologize for something with the Russian flag, and Russia didn't even know or care about it? WWE
when
made
he pulled
it seem
the Russian flag down.
He had to apologize. Russians were mad, and people were like, "What? No."
He had to apologize for that, and some of that, I saw some Americans actually being like, "Ooh, that's racist that he pulled down the Russian flag," and I'm like, what the hell? You're supposed to be on his side because the other guy has been racist towards you, and you're like, "No, it's cool if he's racist to me. Just no, we can't be racist back." I think Russia counts as a minority.
Although with that apology, I was always under the impression it wasn't an actual apology; it was an in-storyline apology. But I read into it wrong.
I think I do recall that being said at some point, that the apology was part of the storyline and was not actually.
Yeah, I believe the on-air one was, but I thought the one he did where WWE issued the statement online and stuff like that, or on their WWE.com under the news segment for the important stuff, I thought that might have been real.
Fair enough. Yeah, they might have been doing a little damage control of, if any Russians were offended by this, we do apologize. This was just meant to be used for a storyline.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fair enough for a damage control type thing.
And really, that's not that bad. It's not as bad as the instance where Jericho desecrated the Brazilian flag and got the entire company banned from Brazil.
Personally, I think Big Show should have issued another apology 2 weeks ago when he chokeslammed Roman Reigns onto the hood of an English taxi. Because as an Englishman, and I'm allowed to use that word, you can't. You have to use the politically correct term of master race. Basically, I was offended by that. I was watching and thinking, "Oh my God, that's my heritage," and he just chokeslammed him all onto it. I'm so offended. None of this happened. Except for the chokeslam onto the taxi.
I think that part happened.
Yeah. Speaking of the stereotypical British set, am I the only one that at some point wants John Cena to come out and turn into Superman in the phone booth? But anyway, there was it's actually in Jericho's most recent book, Best in the World and What I Have No Idea, available everywhere in bookstores now. He tells a story about how they went to this. They were doing these live shows in Brazil. It was the first time WWE had ever been allowed in the country, and they went to these house shows in Brazil. And Jericho was playing heel at the time. This was during the point where he was having his big ass heel feud, right around the time of his big ass heel feud with Shawn Michaels when he punched Shawn Michaels' wife in the face. Which, for the record, he actually did. They both inadvertently stepped forward, and he actually socked her in the face. That was actually a real punch.
Anyway, he's famous for hitting women. Look at that YouTube video that went viral.
Hey.
That was a joke. That was a joke.
All right.
As I've explained in the past, he had every right to defend himself as she constantly kept harassing him, and I thought it was bad that some people were like, "Boo, he just hit a woman." Like, she was attacking him.
Yeah, and for the record, Jericho clarified in the book, he did not punch her. His hand moves off screen, so you can't see. He pushed her away. He did not punch her.
It looked like on the video, you actually saw the fist connect and the woman go down.
All right. Well, Jericho said in the video the fist goes off screen and you can't see what the hand is doing. It just looks from the angle that the hand went off screen that he hit her. He actually just pushed her on the shoulder. But anyway.
Look, sometimes we all choose a weird thing on the dialogue wheel that is funny and, works out, but sometimes it just doesn't. Sometimes it's just a renegade.
Yeah, but anyway, what happened with Jericho is when they were doing this house show, Jericho was wrestling, I believe it was heel CM Punk at the time, and they were having this match, and they had been working house show matches over this international tour, and they were doing this match in Brazil, and they were building this up as as Punk was the face and Jericho was the heel, and so Jericho, being Jericho and being the experienced veteran that he was, just trying to build heel heat. And so, because the crowd didn't seem like the Brazilian crowd wasn't that into it. And so he's like, well, let me build us a heel heat. Maybe I can get them into it and make them want to see Punk kick my ass. And there happened to be, because Punk had actually come down with a Brazilian flag during his entrance. And so Jericho grabbed the Brazilian flag, and I'm trying to remember exactly what he did with it. I think he put it on the floor and started stepping on it and crap, I think, or something. He did something offensive with the flag, like he threw it on the floor, whatever he did. He did something with the flag. And they kept continuing the match, and I think actually what had happened, if I remember what I read correctly, they kept wrestling, and then at one point the match was actually stopped, and Jericho was called backstage, and apparently whoever was in charge on there, some Brazilian general, was threatening to have Jericho arrested and prosecuted for desecrating the Brazilian flag, and the vein in Vince McMahon's forehead was exploding. And it's like, Jericho, you need to fucking apologize. Right the fuck now. You got any idea what the fuck you just did? That shit. You're just going to flag. That shit hasn't flown since the freaking 80s. What the hell is wrong with you? Cursing him out and shit. And they made it, and he had to go back out. Jericho had to go back out to the ring and issue an apology to the crowd for desecrating their flag. And the crowd didn't even give a shit. They didn't care one way or another. It was only this one asshole general that got pissed off.
And based on how often Brazil has won the World Cup, see what happens when the actual local sports team are good? Heels have to do this.
Mm-hmm.
It's your fault, Brazil. Make your team suck.
Exactly, but from that point onward, when Jericho ended up, and then Jericho, to top it off, he called Vince and he was apologizing, and Vince was like, you realize that they're banning us from Brazil now. We cannot come back to Brazil after this. You just killed our one chance to get entrance into Brazil. And Vince wouldn't talk to him for days. And then Jericho actually had to. Jericho got his comeuppance for that one, because then he had to, because they were still finishing out their tour dates that they had now, but they made Jericho leave early before the rest of the crew. So he through some contacts, he got booked on this little shitty bus that took him up through Mexico and stuff, and then he ended up on the little bus of immigrants that was trying to cross the border, and they all had Mexican passports, and he had this Canadian passport. And what the hell are you doing down here? And he was and he got they explained the story, and it turned out that they get him a train ticket, not a plane ticket, and he got pissed off at his friend. It's a hilarious story, but anyway, Jericho got the ban from Brazil.
All right. So you want to give your first award then?
Sure, why not? Might as well. On a related note, my first award, Break the Walls Down Award, for Jericho having an awesome interview with Stephanie live on the WWE Network on Thursday night.
I also have that as one of my awards. That's my number 5th award.
Nice.
I named it the most dominant diva in WWE. Interview Steph.
Ha! Nice. I'll give you that. That was good. But yeah, it was a really fun interview. They talked about a lot of their classic moments, the promos, the one with the Stephanie boob job, the one with the apes and the cake, the one where The Rock dropped an F-bomb because he didn't get cut off in time. They went over all the great promos, talked about Stephanie's heritage growing up in the company, what it was like being around all this. The first time Vince brought her to an arena, and she was 3 or 4 years old. They're walking around the arena, and the first person she runs into is fucking George the Animal Steel in full character, and she fucking shit herself and ran back to her father.
Which I will say, yeah, I liked the interview. I thought the personal stories were good. I just didn't like any part where they talked about business.
Which is fair enough. Yeah, I mean, that obviously that was a little bit scripted. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, for example, the part which I was going to ironically go into, the part where AJ gave that giant speech against Stephanie, and she's she's basically no, it was cool. I had no problems with it, type thing, and it seemed really politically correct. And it's no, I don't think you were happy that she aired your dirty laundry in public.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that because I haven't watched it yet. I wasn't sure. Because the John Cena one, it seemed like it was a lot of personal stories, which was really interesting. So I was worried that the Steph one was going to be a lot more businesslike, so I didn't watch it when it came out. But it what's the spread you think of?
I'd say this is like a hybrid. It's like half of
Half
what
and
the
half?
Vince one was and half of what the Cena one was.
Okay.
Fair enough.
At least half, maybe 75 personal stories.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, like 75% personal stories, like 40% business.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Everyone's gonna accept that as maths, really.
Yeah, sure.
Sure. Might as well.
That sounds right. I mean, she told a little bit about how she was the the
No,
Eisenhower.
WWE math.
She was the Eisenhower.
That doesn't sound right. 75 and 40 does not make 100%. That does not sound right.
I assumed that they gave 110 and 15% for the podcast.
Exactly. I think
It's
somebody went a little
Jericho
bit.
maths.
Yeah. No, I think at this point they're operating on Steiner math.
I want to see at one point, I want to see Jericho interview someone, and I just want every dialogue Jericho says to be armbar, and then hand them the microphone to respond.
That'd be great. But yeah, I think she did a little bit of the business, talk about how she's the Eisenhower recipient and she had to go to Singapore and China and how she serves as the brand officer, so on and so forth. But it was a lot about the
Yeah, as
Moving
you were
on.
saying, it was also a lot
Alright.
about the personal stuff as well, because they did have a personal connection and stuff.
Hmm.
But yeah, a lot of it was also the business. Some of it was also the business side, like Jim said, which seemed really. I don't know, it's not necessarily scripted, but it definitely seemed to just be
PC.
more biased and kiss ass to make her look good.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Politically correct.
But,
Yeah.
yeah, but they still the personal stories were the best part. She talked about coming up at the business, being around her father, how she's like her father. The story of how she started dating Triple H, and at first Vince was okay with it. Then he banned her from seeing Triple H, and then they got back together.
I know, I said the fact she's not just like Vince, she's so like Vince, Shane named her Vincette.
Yeah,
Vincess.
she's the Vincess.
Yeah, that's it, Vincess. No, I was
Yeah,
like, that's kind of funny.
Yeah, and the story, stories like how she and Shane were doing the wrestling at home, like they had two couches facing each other, and he would throw her from couch to couch. One time he missed and chucked her into a glass wall.
Yeah. But I will say my favourite part of it was probably one of the things Jericho mentioned. When he mentioned just one time he was about to insult Stephanie and he asked Vince, is this okay? And Vince said, it's okay as long as you pause afterwards for maximum impact. And both of them were laughing like Stephanie said, yeah, thanks, Dad.
Yeah, I believe that was in reference to the joke he made about the fact that something about flowers, and he responded that somebody lost her flower a long time ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a good interview. It was a lot of fun.
All right. So,
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Marcus, your award?
Flower.
What, Mole?
I said
If you
award.
want that, okay.
Yeah, I whatever. I didn't hear what you said because Victor's laughing. But yeah.
You're welcome.
I guess.
Just give your award. Move on.
My first award is the Don't Feed the Animals award for Bray versus Ryback. Really? Does anyone really want that feud? I mean, that just seemed like the most boring feud ever to me. I'm like, wow, you gave me the one feud I just really don't give a shit about.
I kind of want that feud, only if Bray wins, because hopefully they're going to use Ryback's momentum to just completely build Bray back up.
If they
even
do
further.
that, I'd be okay with that, to bury Ryback. I'm cool with that. But I'm just like, of all the people he could feud with, Ryback, really?
Yeah. If they want to build Bray back up, he needs new followers. The thing that made him intimidating was that he was able to make people do shit for him and act crazy, with crazy eyes and wear a goat mask and shit. That was what made him intimidating. If they
Well,
got him some new followers, he'd be okay.
To be fair, this week he did save Bo leave.
Yeah, there was rumors that the brothers are going to align, so we'll have to see if that plays out or not.
That'd be a weird partnership of just Bray Wyatt being like, oh, just doing his crazy Ozzy Osbourne style talk, and then basically cut to Bo leave. It's like, no, this doesn't match up. This is like teaming the Undertaker with Doink when he's face. I kind of want that.
Yeah, I feel like if they do that, like Bray Wyatt's like weird mind control things will start affecting like Bo Dallas, and his personality will change a little bit.
I hope not. I like the
May-
believe gimmick.
Maybe it'll be the other way. All you have to do is Bray leave.
I think it'll be cooler if Bray Wyatt does his long ass in the shadows, Ozzy Osbourne promo, and when he gets to that point, he is coming out at the end of the promo, and he's just and it just gets to near the end of the promo, and he's like, he finishes what he's saying, and then have just Bo Dallas kind of pop up at the end, just be like, believe in the new face of fear.
See, I also think it'd be funny with those two, just like you mentioned, when Bray's backstage, he's got all the shadows on him, he's in the dark. Halfway through his promo, I want the lights to just come back on, and I want Bo to just walk in and then go, "Oh, I'm sorry, did I ruin your promo? It's okay. You can be like me, who cuts awesome promos. All you gotta do is believe." Like, I just want those two to be like an odd couple, like Booker T Goldust style odd couple. I don't know why. I just want that to happen.
That could be amazing. That could be.
That would be
amazing.
better. That'd be better than Team Hell No for an odd couple, I think, because at least this one wouldn't hurt Bray like that hurt Kane.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. True.
Well, give all credit to Kane. I think he was the tag team champions.
Yep. Just like I believe whenever on 2K games, like the wrestling series, whenever Marcus and Richter win the titles, I believe Richter, our host, is the tag team champions.
Pretty much.
That's right, Marcus. You just got Cesaro'd.
Fuck you.
That's a thing. I don't know why. Nice. You just Cesaro'd him.
Strictly speaking, I think he got Genetti'd, but same difference, I guess.
No, I'd say Cesaro, because Cesaro was completely written out in my mind as ever teaming with Tyson Kidd. It's Tyson Kidd on his own. Gennetti definitely teamed with Shawn Michaels. I'm sorry, the Rockers were fucking awesome.
Fair enough. But yes, back to Hammy.
All right, so Mole, your second award?
Isn't it yours?
No, mine was I also had the same first one as you. The book.
Okay. Yeah, because I got confused because I also took a second one then when I mentioned most dominant diva in WWE interview stuff.
That is true. Okay.
So,
then
yeah.
Jim's second one.
For you.
My second one? Oh, I already did my first one. So.
Yeah, Richter saying the order's gone back round. And I got confused because I already took a second one, so it'd be Jim.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, because we did the first ones, then a couple people jumped in with second ones, and the order got confused. So now we're back on me for a second.
Mm-hmm.
So my second award, I call this extremely injured. Because all the Rocky shit he does, all the things he showed up and did while drunk. No, not in the wrestling ring. No. Jeff Hardy snaps his leg in a motocross accident.
Cause he got high. Pretty
much. He probably was. Yeah, there was a dirt bike accident, and Jeff Hardy broke his tibia and had to have surgery to have a titanium rod inserted in his leg.
Ooh, I wonder if that's going to be like what happened to Lex Luger's arm. And I wonder if he's going to be able to run and do like a knee to knock people out as a finisher.
That'd be interesting.
Am I the only person who remembers the Narcissus when Lex was doing it, he kept running and smacking him in the arm?
I remember that, when he had the metal plate in there.
Yeah, he got a metal plate in his arm, so he does like an elbow to the back of the head and they're unconscious. Shocking that move didn't carry over when he went to WCW.
But yeah, so I'm not worried yet on how long he'll be actually out of action. But news did recently break that apparently, despite the injury, he will not be wrestling, but he will be at the Chaos and Cameron 2 wrestling event this Saturday in North Carolina. So he's at least, the surgery went well enough that he can at least hobble around and go to stuff. So
cool.
Hopefully he will be back in the ring soon doing crazy things, I guess.
All right. So Marcus, your second award?
All right. I call it the Elseworlds Award. And the setup for this is that Kane allowed the WWE Universe to choose Seth Rollins' opponent at Payback between Reigns, Orton, or a triple threat match between the three of them. And at the end of the night, he's like, "Oh, let's see what the WWE Universe decided." And the triple threat match won out with a whopping 78% vote. But the interesting thing, and the reason why I call it the Elseworlds Award, is because Reigns came out with more votes than Orton out of the rest of the votes.
Which I made a prediction about why they may have done that.
About why they had the vote in the first place? Yeah.
Yeah. Which it could have been a reasonable idea.
Yeah, but the thing is, Reigns' bar was almost twice that of Orton's bar. When you look at the bars, which percentage-wise isn't too much because there wasn't that many percent left, but it's still interesting that Reigns got that many more votes than Orton. But yeah, Mole's theory, which is a good theory, and I would like to think that's what they did, but part of me is saying this is WWE. I think Mole's giving them too much credit. Is that Mole basically said that the reason they put up that vote of Reigns, Orton, or the triple threat is to see how behind Reigns the WWE Universe is, because if Orton gets most of the votes over Reigns, then they can kind of get a measuring stick of, okay, the WWE Universe really doesn't like Reigns. If Reigns gets most of the votes over Orton, then it's like, okay, the WWE Universe is firmly behind Reigns, and we're building him back up, and we're on the right track with him. And then and as it turned out with the triple threat, if it's triple threat, then at least they know they're on the right track, they're moving Reigns in the right direction, but he's not quite there yet. But because of the interesting thing of Reigns actually having more votes than Orton at the end of the day, it's like, does that mean that they've successfully rebuilt Reigns back up in the eyes of the WWE Universe?
Yep, I think, like I mentioned, I don't think I'm giving them too much credit with that, because WWE have, in the past, for years, whenever they do a poll, there's usually, unless it's like Extreme Rules, No Holds Barred, and Street Fight, usually for sort of like their polls, there is some sort of reason behind it, like they're trying to get the actual opinion to the fans. Because with the Reigns one, he's still selling merchandise. He's still being cheered a lot of times. So it's like, well, is it just a case of his haters are more vocal?
Yeah.
And I honestly think that would be a smart fit decision on WWE's part if they had done that for that.
Fair enough. It would be smart. Like I said, I would like to think that's why they did it. But like I said, I don't know, just because it's WWE, maybe just because of that, I'm a little skeptical of would they be smart enough to do something like that. But like I said, I feel the results are quite interesting. Like I fully expected Orton to win, especially since, at fucking whatever the last week was, it Extreme Rules, he got kind of screwed. I expected the WWE Universe to be like, Orton deserves his rematch, but it's like triple threat and Reigns has more votes. It's like, wait, what?
Yep.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see where it goes from there, because if WWE did that for the reason that Mole said, they now have some numbers to back up their decision to run with Roman Reigns.
All right. So I will go to my second award. I don't know if anyone else took this. I saw it on This Week in WWE or whatever. Just struck me as funny. Of course, they highlighted it because they thought it was funny or whatever, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, I call this Advantage Kane. I have to agree with Kane when he was talking to Seth Rollins that I would also rather be the WWE's Crypt Keeper than the WWE's Justin Bieber.
Oh, we're getting to that.
So yeah, I just thought that was really funny.
Will we see the Comedy Central roast of Kane?
I was gonna say Seth Rollins, but
Either would work. I'd love to see a Comedy Central roast of Kane, just like the Isaac Yankum and the fake Diesels and all the
hosted by the Undertaker.
There you go.
I'm here to roast my brother. Oh wait, fate already did that for me.
I assumed it wouldn't be in character.
That'd be awesome if it was, though. I think it'd be hilarious if he was in character as the Undertaker. And then like maybe halfway through, because they always have the big the intermissions and stuff, or like when the
Right.
host wanders off to do stuff halfway through, he walks backstage, gets out of the Undertaker gear, comes back out as Biker Taker, as like Mark Calloway, Mean Mark Calloway, whatever. Yeah, that's himself basically as Biker Taker, so he can talk more. I think that'd be cool. But if it's a roast of Kane, then he has to be there as the Undertaker for at least part of it. The Undertaker has to roast Kane.
All right. So, Mole, your third award.
Okay. And I went with the obvious name because I decided to pander to the other two in this conversation, and I went with Jerry. See what I did? Does everyone get that? Cool. I lowered myself. But that was for Too Hot for
You're
TV.
welcome.
To be fair, I said the other two joining you, Rick. I did not offend the host.
Oh, okay.
I'm waiting until you're not host to do it.
Yeah, that's true.
But no, it was for Too Hot for TV, which was a kind of cool clip show. I don't know if Jim or Marcus saw that, or Rick, but that was on the network, and that was kind of cool. Like I said, it was just a clip show. It wasn't as in depth as I would liked, or as, I don't know, cool or something, but it was basically Jerry Springer, and he uses some sort of weak thread to just string a couple of things together, like, oh yeah, and in WWE, it's no place like love, and then they just show a bunch of stuff like Mark Henry and stuff like that, and I'm like, oh, okay. But it's still kind of cool for a clip show, I suppose.
Get sexual, baby.
Yeah, I liked it because some of that stuff I had actually missed, so I was like, oh, okay, it's kind of neat to see some of that stuff. But yeah, I didn't think it was really going to be just an overhyped clip show. It wasn't bad, but I agree that it was. I thought it'd be a bit better.
You caught it?
Yeah, I saw it like a couple hours ago.
I hoped it'd be like the Countdown series, where as well as Jerry Springer, like as the host, whenever they do one of them, I wanted to see the other wrestlers talk about what happened, like they did with the countdowns and stuff, and explain why this didn't work, or why they thought this was silly, or why this was risky. But no, it was just a clip show, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it wasn't bad. Could have been way better.
Yep. Still not as good as the clip shows on Friends. They're still the kings of clip shows.
All right, so Jim, your next award.
Alrighty, award number 3 on my list. Because, yeah, I call this the It's Good to Be the King Award. All hail the King of Bad News.
Nice.
Yay.
Because,
Very nice.
yes.
For more on that, go see our King of the Ring Square Circle special
Indeed.
now on the X-Pound.
Yeah, I was glad Barrett won. I wanted the final to be those two, and I wanted Barrett to win, but I like that, and I'm glad he's the king of bad news.
Indeed.
Only because out of the two of them, he's the one who's been screwed the most because of a certain short, hairy-ass troll we're not meant to mention. Because otherwise people will boo us for daring to insult him. I saw touchy.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to mention them.
One of those people being the short hairy troll currently in this conversation.
I'm not that short. Pretty tall.
Yeah. I'm hairy but not short. Marcus is short but not hairy. I don't know. What are you imagining?
Oh.
Me and Marcus did some sort of fusion dance?
Yeah, he did. He was thinking all fusion dance.
I think he's talking about himself.
He's taller than you.
Yeah, I'm taller than you.
No,
In
you're
my
not.
Mark, that's Marcus' secret. He rewrites all the facts.
Yeah.
Exactly. And in all fairness, I was referencing the only Daniel Bryan mark in the conversation.
Ah,
Yeah,
he wants
other-
to talk about himself. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Swish.
Swish. Anyway, yes, so, hail King Barrett. Back to Richter.
All right, Marcus, your third award.
Yes. Well, before I do that, since you're obviously referencing me, Jim, apparently you haven't been actually paying attention during our previous X-Marks, have you?
To be
Yeah,
fair,
but
does
it's funnier
anyone pay attention when you start talking?
Yeah, no, not really.
No.
In all fairness, even if we did, we've established on this show that it's hilarious to keep referencing things that are no longer true.
Yep.
But yes, my
I
third
love
award.
Richter's dreadlocks.
Ha!
No, my poor Tito.
Yes, my third award is the I'm Never Going Away award. And that goes to Damien Sandow for coming out and being like, I'm Damien Sandow. I don't need the Ms. Dow thing anymore. And his promo was actually really good. I really liked his promo.
It was.
I did this because I told I wasn't entertaining enough. And it seems like there might have been a nugget of truth behind what he was saying in terms of why he was doing what he was doing. However, the reason I gave him the award is because he goes through saying that, saying, I don't need the Ms. Dow thing anymore, that was just to entertain you guys, and I have entertained you, I'm now over with you guys, and stuff like that, and I appreciate what you guys have done for me in my career, and for allowing me to, to be a superstar that you guys like, that makes me feel great, and so because of that, I'm now Damien Sandow, I don't need that anymore. Then cut to Curtis Axel coming out to interrupt him, and he promptly goes back to doing a mimic gimmick. And I'm like, really?
You were not like, really. Mo was like, really, and you and Jim defended that. I was like...
Well, no, I mean, I understand that it's to mock him, but the more I thought about it after that, it's like, okay, yeah, he's mocking him. It is different, slightly, but the more I thought about it, I was like, you're still doing the mimicking thing. It's for a different reason, but you're still doing it, and you're still... using that as what your gimmick is right after you said you're not going to do it anymore. It's like, wait a minute here. It was funny, don't get me wrong. I liked it, but at the same time, it's like I would have preferred to see him. Because especially with the way he was dressed, because he came out as himself. He was wearing just like a black t-shirt and like some shorts, or I can't remember if he was wearing shorts or like a pair of pants.
He was wearing jeans.
Okay, it was jeans. But he just basically came out as like just a dude ready to whoop some ass. And it's like, it's like, did you really need to go back to that?
Yeah, that like I said to you at the time, that's how I felt the second he did that. I was like, well, you just undone your entire promo you just did. What? Why? That was a great promo.
Kind of, yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't say he undid the entire promo, but yeah, like I said, the more I thought about it, I was just like, yeah, you kind of undid some of what you just said. I'm like, yeah, dude. And I didn't know, and we didn't know if it was going to be a one-off thing, but apparently, yeah. From what I heard from people who watched like SmackDown and stuff like that, it's like, yeah, he continues to do that. I'm just like, wow.
See,
I don't think it was SmackDown. I think it was like fucking, what was it, like main event or whatever. I'm in the middle of the week, but.
See, I reckon one of us, I nominate Richter, should steal the Sandow gimmick. I mean, imagine how cool it'd be if, like, next week on X-Smarks, it's hosted by Richter Walken. Arnold Hammer, there, sir? No?
That's unfortunately, like, I wish I could do a good Christopher Walken impression, but I can't.
Hammy the Pooh?
There you go.
Every time Mole speaks, it's just, oh, bother. Yeah.
Oh, bother.
What on earth would Winnie the Pooh be doing hosting this podcast?
That's actually not bad.
Yeah, way better than mine. I'll give it that.
So?
But I think it also helps that Jim is a New Yorker, so therefore has that New York accent he can pull upon. But
That's
yeah,
true.
a lot of it's in the timing though, and I have to give you props, Jim. You got the timing down pretty good.
That is true. It's probably because, like you mentioned, he's in New York. That's why, like, whenever we play the wrestling game, he does a great impression of the Brooklyn Brawler and just lays down.
Oh, shit. That's my fifth award. Another tell me he didn't just say that award to go through the hall.
Done got served.
Which is not bad. It's just like which is not bad because Marcus is from Seattle. He does a great Daniel Bryan impression where he gets his ass kicked and injured every time he's in the ring.
Wow.
Back to Hammy, if you could figure out where the hell we were.
I believe it's Hammy's award.
Yeah, believe so. I think Marcus did his third one.
Okay.
Yes.
I believe Richter's award is written in the stars. I missed that
For-
song.
My third award, we're finally going NXT on my end,
Ooh.
and this is the you are the example award, where during Kevin Owens comes out at the start, so already gonna start well with that. Like you can tell I'm gonna be interested. But then he was yelling at Sami Zayn and William Regal, and he's like, "What did he do to deserve a title shot?" It's like a sneaky surprise, sneaky attack from behind that gets you a title shot. And I'm like, yeah, apparently you have the fucking belt, dickhead. Like, apparently that does do it. Like, oh,
Heel logic.
I know, I hate it. Like, oh, I don't mind like being a dickhead, but like, oh, he says so many like hypocritical things that it drives me up the wall. I'm like, it's just it bothers me. It's not like, oh, I hate him because he's a heel. It's just like, oh, it sounds like an idiot. That's worse.
Yeah,
Put the belt on an idiot.
It bothers you. Like I said before now, like that always bothers me in wrestling whenever they do that. Like the number one is the commentators. Like I mentioned before now, sometimes during the same match, oh my god, he's got an equalizer. Then when the heel picks up the same weapon, it's boo, despicable act right here. And you're like, it's the equalizer. That's what this weapon was. How's it an unequalizer when the heel picks it up? I don't get this. Oh, WWE logic.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But okay, so Mole, your fourth award.
My fourth award is called She's on a Roll, Linz. Thank you. And that is for Renee Young interviewing Seth Rollins.
That is also my fourth and final award, and I call it the Breakfast of Champions award.
on Unfiltered with Renee Young. I swear it must have been filmed before WrestleMania, as he didn't seem to be acting, and I don't mean in terms of character, because he wasn't in character, but he didn't seem to be acting or responding like he'd won the championship, even though they inserted the scene because, well, it came out now.
Right.
But it was a case of, I think it was filmed probably, I don't know, like a couple of months before WrestleMania, like February, January.
Mm.
But I liked the interview.
Yeah, it was a little short, but yeah, it was really good. And I love it. Opens up with her. The reason I call it Breakfast of Champions is because she sits down and has breakfast with him while they're on the road somewhere. But she starts out in front of this restaurant, and the first thing she says is, "Well, I'm going to be interviewing Seth Rollins, but as you can see, he's late, so I'm going to go in and see what's on the menu at this restaurant." I'm like, wow, that's the first thing you say is, I'm going to interview this guy, but he's late.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a good interview. It was nice, and Seth Rollins seems like a pretty decent guy, so,
He did. And I also like how he kept saying, well, I could have talked like that. I mean, he starts to talk in his promo-ish voice.
Yeah. And in all fairness, he really shocked he was late. He was probably depending on JJ Security to drive him there, and we've seen how efficient they are at following directions.
But yeah, it was a nice, kind of down-to-earth interview talking about his, I think his cats pissing on the bed or something like that. I think it was cats. Cats or dogs. He's got aminals in the home. But
Hi, Pew.
Can't tell if it's a joke at Pew having animals or at Pew being animal.
She has cats, and I assume at some point they've pissed on her bed.
Fair enough.
I know I've pissed on her bed.
There you go. Thank you.
I also love that it's so not, I guess, not scripted or not, PC or not WWE kiss ass, that they actually allow them to swear and stuff, because they're because Renee orders this pancake covered in caramel and syrup and stuff, and it's kind of like a sugar bomb, and at first Seth is like, the hell did you order? You're like, man, that looks like it's going to be sweet as hell and it's going to be sugar. And he takes a bite of it and he goes, holy shit, that's fucking awesome. I'm like, whoa. Did you just swear?
They're allowed to on the WWE Network because there is a parental filter.
True. But
Exactly.
I just love that it's basically Seth being himself, and he was just like, that is fucking awesome. I'm going in for more.
And I would also say, the fact there is a parental filter, you could even make the case that this interview was unfiltered. Thank you.
Yes, true. Yeah, I love that it also lived up to its name, because WWE doesn't do that a lot. But
I'm disappointed they haven't announced another one yet. I'm like, oh, are these just going to be temporarily? I hope this was going to be multiple on the run.
Mm.
Yeah, I hope it's a recurring series because it's actually pretty awesome. But yeah, I enjoyed it. That's my fourth and final award to go with the mode over there.
And thank you, Marcus. I'm giving you a mental hug like you're a Care Bear.
Aw.
Now I'm throwing you in the fire like you were a Care Bear. And now I'm expecting you to drop gold like you were a Care Bear. Thank you. But back to our gorgeous host.
All right. So, Jim, your fourth award?
Sure, my fourth award. I call it Bree Mode Deactivated.
Okay.
Is that for her finally showing signs of life?
No, I wasn't referring to the match. I was referring to her giving this nice promo about the state of her poor injured husband, Daniel Bryan, and all of a sudden getting punched in the face from off screen. I'm like, oh, God, that looked like it hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I have to wonder with that, are they gonna be trying to face push the Bellas or at least Brie? Because that was a total heel thing for Naomi to do, and with Brie giving that interview talking about Daniel Bryan, which would be a huge face thing to do. It's like, wait, are they shifting it?
Marcus.
I assume they're turning at least Brie face properly, only due to the fact Daniel Bryan's injured. There's going to be times where he's not on TV. They still need some sort of advocate mouthpiece for the little Daniel Bryan fans to get behind. And there's Brie, because we all know, yeah, she's married to him or whatever.
Yeah, but I think it's more along the lines of, as the former WWE writer told us, as far as WWE creative is concerned, they're told that there are no heels or faces in the Divas, just a bunch of catty bitches that hate each other.
Except for, like I said when he said that, I don't think he's right, because she was clearly acting like a face, and since her thing, since she turned on Paige, Naomi's been acting like a heel. The commentators even talk about her new attitude, which is like saying, well, so are the men, because they turn heel.
I'm aware, but at the same time, the Bellas are still like doing the double team cheating to win and shit. The problem is, yeah, you could say that they're acting like a face or acting like a heel, but they all switch between them so quickly, you really can't say one is one and one is the other.
Yeah, but I make the case of, you get that with the guys. Like, how many times just in the last year has Big Show and Kane face and heel turned? And it's like, it's basically the same thing, and you could make the case of Brie's helping out her sister, and they may be using heel tactics, but did that mean Eddie Guerrero was a heel?
Okay.
He did lie, cheat, and steal.
Let's not be sexist. No, it's a case of, I honestly think the Divas aren't as bad as because it sounded like that dude was completely sexist, like, yeah, we're just told not to give a shit. It's like, really, some of the Diva storylines have been pretty good recently. Maybe it's because you left, because you didn't give a shit. Could that be the reason? I mean, ex-former WWE person bitches and moans about this company after he left. No, he couldn't be biased at all, especially considering the storylines have been better since he left.
Yeah, I could totally see, as much as I really don't want this to happen, but I could see Naomi winning the title, and then Nikki turning face with Brie, and then when Paige comes back from whatever break she's on or injury she has, she feeds with Naomi as a face and gets the title back.
We also have another face, minus some spoilers.
Oh?
Yeah. Apparently, in recent live shows, they've been pushing Lana as a face. She's now officially starting to turn face. Which makes sense, considering how much did the crowd chant "We want Lana" and just got behind her.
Yep.
It makes sense to turn her face.
That and the fact that after Payback, when Rusev was forced to say "I quit," he's pretty much going to be rendered barren and irrelevant anyway. So
he's not going to say "I quit." He's going to make Cena quit. Mark my words. If I'm wrong, Marcus will eat his hat.
No.
His Inspector Gadget hat?
No. Sure, let's go with that one, and let's not pretend I was imagining him eating an odd job hat, because that'd be racist.
Double no. But yeah, have they started letting her wrestle, or is she still just basically being face manager?
I don't know. I just saw that she was basically acting like a face on the tour, and apparently WWE in the live tour seemed to be setting her up to be the next big face of the Divas division.
So they're going to start letting her wrestle then, probably. Fair enough.
Oh, The LOL dirt sheets have some information on that if you're interested.
No thanks. Moving on.
Okay. Moving along.
I was gonna say Boo Earns.
Nice.
Hammer time.
So for my fourth award, this is the Audience Chant Award, also from NXT during the Blake Murphy Tag Team Champs versus Enzo and Cass. For them, the audience chanting "stupid ponytail" and then "looks like Bailey" for whichever one had they had like their hair, they had like longer hair instead of ponytail, but it's like on top of the head and it looks kind of weird on a dude. No, a top knot would look better. It's just like just have a hair tie. It's just like flowing down, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Like when he was backstage like that, I thought maybe that was just how he was, like he was just getting it off of his neck or whatever, trying to get out of the way, and then he came out to wrestle like that. I'm like, ooh.
You mean he had it up in the Chris Jericho?
Yeah, but it was like all of it, and yeah, it looked silly on Jericho too. No offense, Jim, but yeah, it was like that.
Jericho looked silly with his top of the head ponytail and his bright jacket made of foil. No,
yeah, I know. I thought you were gonna be like, oh, you got past that jacket. I've seen a lot of things I never thought I'd see, like Jericho's suit. But, yeah, it just made me laugh. I was like, wow, like stupid ponytail. And then they're like, it sounded like they were saying looks like Bailey, and I'm like, does kind of, and that's just funny. I don't know. All right, so Mole, your fifth award.
As I alluded to earlier, right here on Google Hangouts, and that is for Mick Foley's one-man show. Not for the clip show of Mick Foley crap, because I didn't give a shit. I watched that no. But his one-man show was not how I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be him stood up there doing stand-up, and he wasn't doing stand-up so much as he was doing like the stuff they do at conventions where it's like the one-man panels where they talk and just. But he was inserting Mick Foley humor into it, so it still had humor. It just wasn't full stand-up. It was more like he was just putting together a show and just talking to the audience, and it was kind of interesting. I really liked it. People should watch it out. Yep, which people should probably check that out. At one point, he even brought his son on stage, who has what was it? Is it Asperger's or something like that? He has something like that, and he brought him onto the stage to give him a drum roll. And it goes, okay, give me a drum roll. And his son goes, okay. His son starts to do it and then just goes off on this fucking like Animal from the Muppets style like drum solo. It was fucking hilarious. And all the time, Mick Foley's like, okay, now people don't know this about me, but I don't swear much. I've only dropped like 3 F-bombs in my life. And he goes, but you might hear the 4th tonight. At some point tonight, I will use an F word. I mean, it all built, and at the end of the show, he gives an F word and it's not a swear word. And I'm just like, it's kind of funny. And he's like wearing his Santa shirt he wore on Raw the other week. And he mentioned he's no longer doing the Santa piece of attire every day, but this shirt's just really lucky for him, so he wore it. And I'm like, it's not that bad. People should check that out on the network. $9.99.
Mick Foley, cheap pops.
Yep.
Was the clip on the "Have a Nice Night" or whatever?
Yes, have a nice day with day scratched out at night. So I don't know if you're supposed to say day scratched out at night.
I don't even. Yeah, I saw them like advertise that, and I was like, wait, there were 2 of them. So, I didn't know what the other one was.
The Have a Good Night, or whatever it was called, it's basically Renee and Byron Saxton, which are kind of really hilarious together. Like Renee's in the flannel shirt and complains that Byron Saxton didn't put on his Mick Foley attire. And he goes, yeah, but you're always like, what was it? It was something along the lines of, yeah, but what about you? You're dressed like Mick Foley, but I thought you always like to try and represent divas. And she turns around on the back of the flannel shirt, it says Brie Mode. And he's like, that's cheating. But that was basically them telling us all about Mick Foley's career before his one-man show, so people know who he is. And I'm like, okay, but you didn't feel the need to do this with the Austin podcast with Vince or Austin, or you didn't feel the need to do this with Jericho stuff. Why are you doing this with Mick Foley? We know who the fuck he is. He's Mick fucking Foley.
Yeah, I would say
that is his middle name.
I would say if you're subscribed to the WWE Network and you're going to watch Cheap Pops, you know who Mick Foley is. If you don't, why the fuck do you have the WWE Network, and why the fuck are you going to watch Cheap Pops?
Maybe they have the WWE Network because they like other wrestlers besides Mick Foley.
Yeah, I could see them having the network, but I don't think they would watch Cheap
Well,
Pops
yeah,
unless they knew
I
who
didn't
he
say-
was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't say they would actually like him, but I would say you would at least know who he is if you've got the WWE Network. If you're a big enough fan to have the WWE Network, you would at least know who he is.
I would
don't know.
argue because that's how people are getting the pay-per-views now. So it's like this generation's kids who want to see like John Cena defeat Rusev and stuff like that. They may have their parents purchase the WWE Network and they may not know who Mick Foley is.
Yeah, but
However,
he's been around enough.
He's been around, but I'm going to say not everyone who buys the network would know. But I will agree, if you're watching Cheap Pops with Mick Foley, why would you watch that unless you're like, oh, what's this? Like, I have to admit, I've done that before now on Netflix. I've been like, okay, this is a stand-up show. Okay, let's check this guy out.
Right. I was gonna say he's done enough stuff in the more recent years, like on Raw, and he
As Santa.
I think he was in like the Royal Rumble stuff. Well, even not as Santa, he's been on Raw as Mick Foley a couple of times, just because he just randomly shows up here and there because Legends contract, and he's
True.
done it enough that even the younger people would at least know who he is. They might not know a lot about him, but they would know, hey, that's Mick Foley, the hardcore legend.
Yeah, but like I said, it wasn't just telling us, oh, this is Mick Foley, because a nameplate could do that, like it does on Raw. This was showing us his entire career, which a kid that saw him dress up as Santa a couple of months back isn't going to realize, oh yeah, this is the same dude that did all this.
No, that's true.
Like, I'm guessing a lot of the kids who are watching now, when they see Hulk Hogan, they probably don't know all the stuff Hulk Hogan's done.
Yeah, they wouldn't know like Stone Cold Steve Austin, everything that he's done.
Yep.
The Rock to an extent, although they would know him as the actor Dwayne Johnson, not as The Rock.
Oh, it's him from all those shitty Disney films. Yay! Who
Ah,
are we
pretty
going to get
neat.
next? Miley Cyrus?
But the advantage is now they can know who they are because not only they have pay-per-views, but they have Attitude Era Raw right there on the WWE Network for just $9.99.
Yep.
Yes, they do, except for I don't think new fans are going to check out the Attitude Era just because of how it's been booked on the network. I don't know if anyone else has seen that.
I have not.
WWE have done adverts and sent it to me via obviously email and stuff like that. It's not like a direct,
WWE
like,
email.
yeah, it's not like, oh my god, it's the gobbledygooker like a carrying pigeon. It's a case of they sent it to me via email for subscribing to the WWE Network, and all the advertisements for them having the Attitude Era stuff is relive relive the days you loved most of the Attitude, and it's basically making it out like it's there for people who liked it, not for new people. And that confuses me. It's like, wait, so are you trying to discourage new people from watching and only the old? I can understand why, because a load of the new people, based on how the times are now, would see a load of stuff from there and be like, that's sexist, that's racist,
Yeah.
that's just offensive. I mean, why the hell's that guy in a thong?
That's me, sorry.
It's my screensaver. Well, not that. The time I drew you Titanic style. When you were wearing just the power glove.
Yes.
Marcus is like, oh, I was going to draw him wearing just a power glove. But yes, I believe it's back to the host.
Yes. So, Jim, your next award?
Fair enough. My fifth award. I was debating between two names for this award.
Name number two.
I don't know which one applies better. The name options for this award are either Fandango or Adam Rosa Mendez. Either one works.
Not Fandang, no.
Fandango, that's also good. But yes, keeping with our theme from last week of divas betraying people. Rosa Mendez, having been dumped by Fandango in England the week before, decided that she was now going to be with I can't remember exactly what she said, but something to the effect of a man who truly gets her or whatever in Adam Rose. After she dressed up as a rosebud and surprised Fandango and cost him the match.
More on this later.
And then proceeded to make out with Adam Rose in the middle of the ring. But
Exactly.
I put it to you, Can you call it a betrayal if Fandango's the one that dumped her?
Yes, then it's still a betrayal because he betrayed her.
Betrayal.
But he didn't betray her.
Betrayal.
Betrayal 5.
Was this week in England, so therefore his title is irrelevant because no one was betrayed. It was more Rosa taking revenge.
Fair enough.
For betrayal.
For betrayal, yes. That I will buy. I'll accept that.
Except there's one thing that doesn't make sense about that entire turn. Fandango said, I've been sharing my dancing with you when I should be sharing it with the world. Is she not part of the world?
Not anymore.
Is she white? I rest my case.
Oh,
Damn. Good night, ladies and gentlemen.
That was a joke because obviously we have. Okay, it's a white world champion. 2 white guys attack. Okay, maybe it wasn't a joke.
No, the tag champions are black guys.
Racist.
Oh yeah, Tyson Kidd lost his belt.
Yes, he did.
He did.
It was unfair.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
He had to do it by himself.
If it makes you feel any better, in the next couple of weeks, I'm pretty sure we're going to have a Black Divas champion.
Nice. Is Jazz coming back?
Ha!
No, the surprise is Karma's coming back, and Karma's a bitch.
Speaking of bitches, hi Pew.
Exactly. Hashtag I agree with the mole wholeheartedly.
Ooh.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Pew knows I kid with that. She's not going to listen to this anyway. She's not going to be like, oh my god, a wrestling podcast. I must listen to it.
Yeah.
Unless she sees Richter's hosting it, and maybe she will if they sort of have a Ross Rachel type on again, off again thing.
Wow. You just got her killed.
Why, is she famous?
Even worse.
Your wife will make her famous.
Yeah, she's going to get wife-bladed.
Ouch.
Yeah, she's gonna learn where Marcus Shadow gets all his resources from.
His parents?
I mean,
Nice.
I have a new 5th award. It's called the He's on Fire award. No.
That was a joke. Marcus knows I love him.
Aw.
He's my little Lerigo.
Fuck you?
Well, I forgot the name of the guy from He-Man.
Which one?
Close enough.
The one that looked exactly like Lerigo and holded the key.
I hope whatever turns out to be the new He-Man movie is actually decent. Unless another part of my childhood gets raped by Hollywood.
Marcus, they're coming for you. Anyway. But, so, all right. Time for my final award then, I think.
Yes.
And this is called the Equal Opportunity Award, where on NXT, Becky Lynch defeated some no-name diva. And I was like, oh, no-name diva scrubs. Yay, it's equal opportunity.
Boo! She took Blue Pants' job.
I know, but Blue Pants had a name. She's not a no-name.
I know, I like Blue Pants.
I mean, or I guess she...
Yeah, local
it's a
diva
name,
talent.
yeah. Yeah, I don't even know who it was. I was like, who is it? And like my kids had come down at that point, and I'm like, I didn't see a name. And they're like, and my daughter's like, she has a name. I'm like, I know, but I don't know what it is.
And that's when your son goes, oh, that's you should have really watched her Ring of Honor work. Just sits there all smug looking at you.
That would be hilarious.
This is like, get out.
I was like, oh man, Rhino's not the only one. Rhino and Baron Corbin aren't the only people getting fed no-name people. Now Becky Lynch is joining that elite group of
Are those?
all.
Am I right in assuming those two are due to face each other?
Based off the promo, yes.
Okay, so which one's gonna win? I'm thinking probably the younger one.
Yeah.
Yeah, not Rhino. I forgot his name. Damn it.
Baron Corbin.
Thank you. I always get his name mixed up.
Russo's who are making his grand return next week. They both get fed to Ryback.
No.
Yeah, they just feed him the whole NXT locker room. And Adam Rose, because he's just there every once in a while. So
Why not? They once fed Triple H and John Cena the entire Raw locker room.
yep,
This is true.
it's the path to stardom.
In fact, they ran so far to people they almost had to feed Triple H a broom.
Yeah. WWE likes to feed people the entire lockers before now. You had that. You had Austin doing all of WCW and ECW. What? Why? Why do you have one or two guys taking on the entire roster? That's never good for anyone, because either they get destroyed or the roster looks weak.
Yeah, and Undertaker did that one time. Because I remember Matt Hardy like rolled out instead of taking a choke slam, so they were all mad at him.
Yep, I remember Undertaker doing that when he was. I think when he was Biker Taker.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he just came.
Yeah, and he just came out and cleaned house. Yeah, it's like you should never do this to people. Of course, they all have the advantage of never winning a WrestleMania that they were not scheduled to appear in.
Yeah, yeah.
Fucking Hogan.
Mm-hmm.
I'm waiting to watch that Hulk Hogan animated cartoon that's on the WWE Network soon to watch him win G.I. Joe he was never in.
Ah.
Would it have been better if he was the power behind the corporate ministry? It was me all along, brother.
Yeah.
Didn't you notice I win matches I wasn't even scheduled?
See, I think it would have been also funny, as I've mentioned in the past, when Vince unhooded, as you would say, probably instead of unmasked. He should have had a completely different face that no one knew who he was, like when Bischoff was Billy and Chuck's official, and then pulled it off just to make out that Austin didn't see who the fuck he was last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have made so much more sense.
Yeah.
I miss wrestling making sense.
Wrestling made sense at some point.
At some point.
Oh, okay. All right, so now on to our match and promo of the week, and as mentioned before, we can have one match and our promo from the last week, and then we'll do that. We'll do that one first for the previous week, the week of Extreme Rules, and then we'll do the previous week.
Oh, so I thought we got one. I thought we got one of each per show. Is it only one of each per week now?
It's one of each for the Extreme Rules week, but you get one per show for like last week, if that makes sense.
Okay, fair enough. Got it.
So, Mole, you want to go first again?
Okay. My matches sort of tie in together. Last week's Fandango defeated Curtis Axel. Why is this on my list as best match? It's like Fandango won. He needed a victory, goddammit. They're building up my people I like, damn it. They're building them back up. It meant a lot to me, damn it. Which is why my following one from this week is Adam Rose defeated Fandango. Adam Rose now has a victory. Their feud was on Raw. And Rosa then joins Fandango and calls herself the First Lady of the Exotic Express.
You mean Adam Rose?
Yes. And she calls herself the First Lady of the Exotic Express. And that was just cool because it's like their feud. With Rosa being inserted into it, it has the benefit of possibly sticking. And maybe we'll get a pay-per-view match out of it. Maybe both these guys can slowly go back up. Come on, build them back up. You have the power.
Is Fandango going to counter the Rosebud by bringing out an army of dancers with him?
Yes, the return of Brutus Clay.
Ha!
That would be really funny. It wouldn't happen, but
better.
I would laugh. Like,
would you laugh as much as if Undertaker was in the ring at WrestleMania, and suddenly all the Druids have come out, Undertaker's about to speak, and suddenly Fandango comes out, and all the Druids do a flash mob?
That'd probably confuse me. Like,
That would confuse everybody.
Did this just happen?
Yeah, you see the Undertaker, what? And there's Fandango. My dancing is so magical, it can even beat your powers. Cha 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 cha, and just the Undertaker in the ring, like, really, this guy? But I do like Adam Rose and Fandango.
Sorry.
You go.
Yeah, then the camera cuts to the back. Triple H's eyes are bugging out of his head, like, what the fuck's going on? He just looks at Vince. Vince is like, what? I'm supposed to pay for 2 groups of people to come out? You see the budget?
Yeah. And yeah, so I gave it to those two. Just not necessarily for great matches, because we always discuss great matches in Match of the Week and stuff. But I figured we can also take the opportunity to just discuss something about a match we like that may not necessarily get an award.
Mhm.
Because why not? 'Cause that meant more to me seeing Adam Rhodes versus Fandango this week than any of the other matches.
Which is fair enough.
And my promo, I can't believe I'm going to go with this week just because of who my two people are, but last week I gave it to Triple H. When he came out, he started to talk about his dreams and Tough Enough and Kane and Seth Rollins come out, and then Kane's like, we could have made El Torito champion. And then he makes Kane guardian of the gate. I was like, it was a kind of cool promo, because as much as people don't like Triple H, like I personally don't really like him, when he was talking about what it means to enter Tough Enough and how all of us have dreamed of being in the WWE ring, how we've dreamed about standing behind that curtain, and all this, he talked it up in a way that actually made me think, yeah, okay, you're actually selling Tough Enough in a really great way, and you're actually making it seem like being a WWE superstar is a dream. It's not just something that you can just do. If that makes sense, like a lot of times wrestlers just appear and that's it, and they only talk about the dream if it's a face winning a title. And it's like, I'd like to believe everyone's dream was to be in WWE, except for certain people like Ryback, who's probably there because, well, I don't think McDonald's hires big roided people who go, "Free me more." But I gave it to that because I really liked that promo.
Mm-hmm.
This week's, I gave it to John Cena. Because, I'm sorry, he had an open challenge. Heath Slater comes out and instantly gets destroyed by Rusev. Who then just looks up at Cena and starts to do like that. And they started, like, basically it's selling Rusev as being this monster again. And it's just awesome, the fact Heath Slater's been screwed twice. That's kind of a fun running joke now. I want to see him get screwed more often.
He's
like,
he's the modern age.
By the video,
Brooklyn
One Night in Heath.
Yeah. Like last week or the week before, as we alluded to earlier, he was talking about, yeah, you're looking good as the next US champion. Boom, RKO for a table. This week, he comes out, he finally gets his shot, and Rusev destroys him. And I'm like, it's kind of funny. I don't know why. He's sort of like Kenny. I want to see how he dies next week.
That could be a great gimmick for him.
Although
Although
I have to say, I hope the Rusev destroying whoever comes out to face Cena is a one-off thing, because if it's going to be a recurring thing, that kind of undoes everything Cena did the last month.
I would say they're screwed if they do and they're screwed if they don't, because wasn't one of your complaints they weren't building up Rusev and making him look dominant, and now he's taking out people just to intimidate the shit out of Cena. So it's like, well, which one?
Well, what I'm saying is just give him like actual other matches, or have other shit going on for him, you know, all while he's biding his time and saying, I will take the title from Cena at the pay-per-view. And you can have him come out and say stuff, whatever, blindside Cena, fair enough. But if you're going to have this John Cena Open Challenge, which you and I both have agreed that is a great thing for the U.S. title, and it's a great thing that Cena's doing, and they're using him right, and they did do it for 1 month, and then the second month it's, you know, instead of trucking out more people to make the title even better and to continue what Cena's doing with it, they're just going to have them all destroyed by Rusev. That kind of makes the Open Challenge doing nothing for the title. In fact, if anything, WWE is reversing what they've done in the past month and making the title not mean anything, because Rusev isn't allowing anyone to actually come out and fight for the title.
Doesn't
And
that mean
kind of ruins the title?
Doesn't that mean the title is worth more, because all these people are trying, and Rusev's deliberately going out of his way to take them the hell out because he wants that title off Cena so much? That makes the title seem really, I don't know, like coveted. Like, all these people want that title. It's like, that's kind of cool. And yeah, the matchup every week was pretty cool. I really liked that. But I also understand not making him do that every single week, because I don't think most wrestlers wrestle every week. But it's like,
which is fine. Which is why I was saying, you know, as long as Rusev, if this is like a one-off thing where he did it this week and then next week Cena gets to fight or whatever, that's fine. I'm just saying I don't want Rusev to do it every week leading up to the pay-per-view, because to me that would be kind of, I don't know. I can see what you're saying in terms of it's so coveted now that, you know, Rusev wants it so bad, which is fair enough. But I'm like, I don't want to see him do that every week. To me, that'll get old, and to me, that kind of devalues the title. But maybe that's just me.
Yeah, like I said, I see it being more of if he continues it, it's just for 1 month. That's not that big a deal. I mean, we've had people do that with the world title for a month before, now take out everyone just because they want to be world champion. It's like, I could kind of see that cool, and I really want every week. I want him to do it every week, and it needs to be Heath Slater trying to get his opportunity.
See, if they do that, I might almost be okay with that.
And I just want him taken out in various new ways, like, oh, we're in England. As he steps out, Rusev hits him, runs him over in the fucking taxi. I might just be sick, but yeah, those were my 2 promos. But which, like I said, ironically, the matches bled together, and ironically, the promos were for 2 people whose promos we don't normally like, but I happen to enjoy them.
Fair enough.
So back to By the Power of Ham Skull.
Yeah, I don't even know what's going on. You gave John Cena an award and Triple H an award. I don't even know who you are anymore.
For promos of all things.
You could make the case I gave Rusev the Cena award because it was really hilarious in beating up Heath Slater.
Yeah,
Fair
but I'm
enough.
not going to do that.
Yeah.
I'm going to internet it. I'm going to take the whatever view I took first, and I'm just going to stick to it regardless of anything else.
Well, in that case, any awards anyone else gives from Raw, they're supporting Owen Hart jokes.
That's true.
Because Booker T was out there the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is how the internet works.
All right, so Jim, your match and promo for the 2 weeks?
Alrighty. First of all, I'd just like to say Rusev ran over Heath Slater for The Rock. Second of all,
Rusev, do it for Rock.
yeah. So anyway, the first,
No, in Mother Russia, Rock runs over someone else for Rusev. That'd be a great appearance for The Rock. I don't even know what's happening. We're just in Mother Russia.
So, first of all, for the a couple weeks ago, Raw, my match of the night, I gave it to Ziggler versus Rollins because that was a pretty athletic match. I thought that was pretty good. With honorary mention to the Divas match because it was also a good match that night. I gave the promo 2 weeks ago to Seth Rollins, cutting his his promo that he gave about being basically how he's gonna retain the title and bring Randy Orton and blah blah blah. It was a good promo. For this week for Raw, I gave the match, despite the ending, I gave the match to Ambrose versus Sheamus because I didn't see a lot of the matches, and I gave it to that one because despite the interference, it was a pretty good match to at least start off with, and I would like to see Ambrose feud with Sheamus. I think that's an interesting, 2 ground and pound dudes going at each other. I think that'd be a great feud I'd like to see down the road. And while I was sad to see Dean Ambrose get screwed out of the King of the Ring tournament, I didn't think that was a good setup to do that with. Promo for Raw went to Damian Sandow because, again, despite the turning it into just back to everything you just said, the part before that was really awesome and I liked it. So props to him. My match of the night for King of the Ring was Neville versus Barrett in the final because that was a great match.
We covered King of the Ring on King of the Ring.
I know, but nobody said we couldn't give awards for that also. That was never stated, so I'm doing it anyway.
That's true. That's fine.
Fair enough.
Richter says, screw you, Jim. He's going to murder your family.
Starting with Q. I don't know. I just put her in your family now. Boom.
I'm okay with that.
Look at Pew and listen to how she speaks. It's Jim with a bow on its head. It's like Mickey Mouse, Miss Pac-Man.
I was going to say, yeah, Miss Pac-Man.
Yeah, Jim puts a bow on his head like, yeah, it like exists.
Waka 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 waka. And then my promo for the King of the Ring night was the Vern Gagne memorial promo because that was a really well done video package, so I gave it to that.
Nice, that was a well done package.
Nice. Okay, so Marcus, your match and promos?
All right, so for a few weeks ago, my match of the night was the Lucha Dragons versus the New Day for #1 contenders match, which, of course, obviously the New Day won because they went on to take the titles. They won via Xavier Woods crawling under the ring and holding Sin Cara's legs, preventing him from climbing back into the ring to answer the countout.
See, this is why Sin
Yeah.
Cara shouldn't have got rid of the trampoline.
Yeah, which I thought was kind of funny. Because I was like, wait, what's Xavier doing? Did he just go under the ring? Is he going to do what I think he's going to do? And doom, his head and torso pops out and he grabs his legs. I'm like, oh, really? But it was still a good match, and I like the Lucha Dragons. I think they're awesome. And then my promo of the night for that night, I have to give it to Bo Dallas. It made me laugh so hard, that promo. Did you get a chance to see any of that promo, Richter?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. He comes out and cuts a promo on Roman Reigns, who's in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
First thing he does is he quotes Star Wars. He goes, "Anger leads to hate, and hate leads to suffering." And then the one that just made me die with laughter, he goes, "Let's face it, you're a bust. You come out here dressed in Kevlar, you're the Tim Tebow of the WWE." I was like, oh shit. So that was good. That was good.
I do love Bo Dallas.
That's why I had to give it to Bo Dallas, because that was a really, really good promo. Easily, probably, I would say it's the best promo I've heard him cut so far. It's my favorite Bo Dallas promo so far. Moving on to this week, I don't really have a match of the night. I guess I'd give it to the Adrian Neville versus, I think he faced Luke Harper, is that right, for the King of the Ring?
Who's this
That's correct.
Adrian Neville you speak
Yeah.
of?
His name's Neville. Adrian's a girl's name.
Well, yeah, I mean, just because I like Neville, so I don't really remember much about the match, but it's Neville, so it had to be at least halfway decent. And Luke Harper's not terrible if you put him in the ring with the right people, so I imagine this match was probably pretty good.
And given
Neville-
that this was on Raw, by halfway decent, we mean was a whole bunch of moves that basically just built up to, oh, we're going to see the Red Arrow.
Pretty much. But he looked good doing it, and it's Neville, so yeah, I'll give it to Neville. But my promo of the night comes from the top of the show, and it's what Richter mentioned earlier. I have to give it to Kane. I really do. That was hilarious. Kane talking to Seth Rollins. "You're Justin Bieber." And I have to admit, I saw that coming like a mile away when he started talking. I was like, wait, he's going to call him Justin Bieber, isn't he? And he did it, and it was still funny anyway. Because given the insults that were going around, I'm like, in the direction Kane was going, I'm like, oh god, he's going to call him Justin Bieber. He's going to call him Justin Bieber. And then he called him Justin Bieber, and I was like, oh, Kane.
Oh, you.
Yeah, pretty much.
I know that didn't happen, but I just.
That was pretty much my reaction to him doing it, just because, like I said, I saw it coming. I was like, yeah, it had to go there. But his promo was generally good, and Kane, no pun intended, Kane's been on fire the last month in terms of promos and stuff. The last month, probably some of the best promos I've ever heard him cut. I'm like, wow, he's awesome. And they felt kind of genuine because it was the anger-filled promos of Seth Rollins talking about how much of a douche waffle Seth Rollins is, and you know what I mean. And it's just like it felt genuine, and you don't get that up from a lot of superstars, let alone Kane. But Kane's been around long enough. He obviously knows what he's doing in that department, especially in the last like 10 or so years, maybe longer, where they've pulled the mask off him or given him a mask with the open mouth so he could talk. His promo ability has gone up, and they've let him talk more and more. And I think this is the best I've ever heard him on the mic. And yeah, he's been on fire. He's awesome.
See, my favorite part for Kane doing promos is when he was unmasked and won the World Heavyweight Championship and was just dominating on SmackDown. Like, it was like him versus Taker for like months, and he was doing his psychotic Kane style promos. I like them. I miss Monster Kane.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, I didn't watch a lot of SmackDown really, so like around that time, more recent. I haven't watched a lot of SmackDown, so I probably missed a lot of like the good Kane promos from there. But yeah, Kane's been on fire, and this last Monday night was no exception.
But to make one interesting point though is that Seth Rollins may be a huge douche waffle, but he's a douche waffle with delicious sweet syrup.
Okay then.
It's a reference to the Renee interview, you idiot.
I know, but it could be taken another way. That's why I said
I
okay
know,
then.
but that's not what it was intended to be taken as.
Cue the clip.
You should.
Richter, I'm hereby ordering you to take a 6th award. I want you to take the He's on Fire award.
You just gave that.
Yeah, you can't do that.
No, that's your 5th award. There we go.
Yeah, that's my 5th award goes to Mole for He's on Fire. Because Mole's in rare form tonight.
On a
Yeah,
related note, if you'd like to be on fire, I think NBA Jam is currently on the PSN.
Nice.
Yes, back to Hammy.
All right. So for mine, 2 weeks ago, the match on NXT was easily the NXT Women's Triple Threat match with Charlotte, Bayley, and Becky Lynch. Because that was, those three are really good in the ring.
They fed Charlotte to Becky?
She had to work for her food. I'll put it that way.
Okay, fair enough.
But yeah,
like a T-Rex.
but there was like Charlotte at one point did like a figure 4 headlock to Bayley and like flipped over her like twice while still holding on, and I was like, what the hell? Like that was crazy. And then Becky Lynch did some new leg lock to Bayley, and then and Charlotte did a natural selection of Becky Lynch while she was in the middle. Kind of like when Jericho eventually got RKO'd out of the Walls of Jericho from years ago. No, okay.
Yeah.
I remember.
But yeah, it was a pretty cool match. Although at one point they go for like the ropes and they're like, "There's no rope break in a triple threat match," and I was like, "Really? Is that a thing? I don't ever remember that being a rule." I mean, she went to the ropes. I forget which one. I think it was Bayley went to the ropes, but she bothered to go to the ropes, so I don't even think she knew. And I'm like, what the like?
Yeah,
they
just like,
nah, screw it.
In triple threats, they did rope breaks before.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
For the record, I know that if you're playing WWE games, there is no rope break in triple threat matches.
Ah.
I don't think.
Well, you don't think, or you know for a fact. You can't do both.
Well, I vaguely recall pinning people out having been pinned in triple threat matches when there should have been a rope break, so I'm pretty sure there's no rope break.
Gotcha. Because yeah, I don't remember that being a thing. Maybe then they said because they've had that in the games before where there's like some rule, and I remember I was like, oh yeah, that's in the game, and then they do it in the show, and it's like.
Hello?
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 Oh, how happened
Hello?
to Richter?
I have no.
Oh.
Richter's here.
Okay, it sounded like he cut off. He
did cut off.
He
Oh,
did.
sorry. My internet must have been flipping out or something.
But yeah, there's been rules in games before now that have been crazy, like the 20 seconds outside the ring rule, where they hardly use.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah. And I seem to remember old like triple threat matches where you'd have like Kurt Angle doing an ankle lock, and if he reached the rope, he had to let go.
Yeah. I thought so I don't know. It was just random. I was like, when did this happen? But then the promo of the night, well, I guess, I don't know. This is like almost the exact opposite of best promo, but at the bottom sometimes they have the like things where at least this night it was advertising the tour dates and the Mick Foley comedy tour or whatever, and it just was so awkward when Corey Graves would try to like work it in. He'd be like, "Oh, on the bottom of the screen there is the dates. Work might be coming to your town." I'm like, that sounds hella canned. Like it didn't sound natural at all. I was like, you got to work on that, dude. But he did get a little better the next week because he did it again once, and I was like, oh, I'm like, it's a little bit of improvement. I picture he's at home just grinding it out, like as if it were a stat he could like get experience for.
Yes.
But over the the last week, not 2 weeks, anyway. But match of the night was probably this is weird, but Enzo and Cass versus Blake and Murphy, because even though they had like a match with like Sami Zayn versus Alex Riley, that wasn't that great a match, and the end was stupid. And then they had Hideo Itami versus Adam Rose, but just the match wasn't super great. It was just kind of there, and I was like, "What? Hideo can phone in a match? Okay." But that was probably the most entertaining one, was the tag champs versus Enzo and Cass. And the promo was probably the opening one after Sami Zayn came out to make fun of Kevin Owens, because he was like, it felt almost kind of forced, just because it felt like he was trying to use Kevin's tactics against him, and it worked somehow. It felt like that shouldn't have worked as easily as it did. But I just like where he's making fun of him, because he's like, everything you do is everything that you've done in the ring for the last 13 years, everything you've done here, it all involves me. You're like, every time they mention you, it's in relation to me. And he's like, you're just basically living in my shadow. And I was like, that's pretty funny, actually. That's a good way to get to him. Just like, everything you've done was all related to me, so it's not, you can't really escape me. And I'm like, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
But yeah, it was
Yep.
surprisingly
It
decent promo.
Sounds like it was a good promo.
It
It was
does.
pretty good. It's nice and short too. That helps. But it's not a 20-minute one anyway. But so there we go. That was all of our awards and match and promo of the week. Unless anyone has any closing remarks.
Well, I did want to mention, because I did have this also as an award, and
Mhm.
didn't use it because I could only have two. I did want to mention about, I was kind of stoked when in the 2 weeks ago Raw, when Fandango came out, and he still had the cha-cha music. Like, it's like, oh, they gave it back to him, and it's now back stateside. But it got me a little worried, because I was like, okay, yeah, there's some cheers and stuff, but it wasn't anywhere near the reception it got when they brought it back in England.
Mm.
And I'm worried that if, and I haven't seen like the SmackDown and stuff since, and the other stuff he's done since aside from Raw, but I'm worried with the lukewarm reception he's getting, or his face turn / face music is getting, that I'm worried WWE is going to use it as an excuse to bury the cha-cha again, which I'm like, oh, no, it's a good song, let it go, it's awesome.
Possibly, although, to be fair, the reason he's getting a lukewarm reaction in like the US and stuff is they've spent the last year not using him on rehearsal and just better jobbing him out. If they did, it's like they're gonna have to build him back up.
Right. Well, I mean, but I expected at least there to be a favorable reaction for the song, and the fact that the lukewarm reaction was also like there wasn't much of a reaction to the song itself. I'm wondering if WWE is going to look at it and say, see, we told you it's not marketable. The song isn't marketable. That's why we killed it the first time, because we knew it wasn't marketable. I'm wondering if they're not doing it to basically rub it in the fans' faces and say, see, you're wrong. And it kind of worries me, because I do like the song and I like the gimmick, and I kind of like Fandango as a face. I like him as both, but Fandango as a face right now kind of works, and
I assume they brought it back not to rub it in the fans' faces. I assume they brought it back because it'll work and they want to build him back up as being a face. And it was catchy enough that if the second it starts to take off, more and more people will start to do it.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping it'll take off. But like I said, given the lukewarm reception upon his first return to American soil as a face with that music and stuff, that just kind of made me go, I got a little bit afraid, I'll admit. We'll have to see where it goes from there, but I did just want to kind of mention that.
That's fine.
Because it does worry me a little. But back to Hammy.
All right. So there you have it. Our recap and what we liked from the previous 2 weeks in wrestling, not counting the Extreme Rules. That was last week. If you are interested in our thoughts on Extreme Rules, please look at the video on there here on YouTube. I'd like to thank everyone for joining me tonight.
A pleasure.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
All right, so Hope everyone will be here again next week when we go through some more wrestling, Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. Thank you very much for joining us. Good night.